All right, everybody. Hello. It is great to be on here. So the whole purpose of my discussions here are about the UFOs and that to enlighten everybody on truths and not true, what's not true. Um, and some other things as well. Like we go periodically on everything and that. But a lot of your stuff that's coming out is false. I've seen Facebook Reels, I've seen TikTok, and now that stuff. A lot of it's AI, and a lot of it are people are just full of crap. So I'm gonna be straight and honest with you and let you know what's really going on. And that now the government is planning eventually to do a false invasion of UFOs, and that they do have ships. That is true. Um, You've heard some, scientists that actually work there. I don't know. One, Bob Lazar, he really worked at Area 51, and he really knows what he saw, and what he speaks about is true. I mean, surprisingly, they haven't taken him out, which baffles me because usually when a whistleblower comes out, they kill him. As you know, the government has always been that way about everybody that comes out and speaks about things that are true, and the government don't want you know. They shut them down. Eventually, probably my life will get threatened, but I really don't care because at the end of the day, I know where I go. I know where I'll be at the end of the day if that would happen. Um, but as for some of these UFOs, uh, and we'll get to extraterrestrial. They like to use the word alien and ET a lot and crap like that. So these people or beings are actually fallen angels, um, and it's all in the Bible. Now you got to get rid of your King James Bible because it's been rewritten. They try to say in them that it can't be rewritten. It has been. King James rewrote the Bible. Uh, in his perspective and the government kept the King James because it speaks out against the government and that they're evil, which is true. Now the problem is that a lot of things aren't in the Bible if you pay attention, and I just learned Matthew 21 is there, but Matthew 22, which speaks about healing, that you're able to heal the body, it's not in there. It's missing. If you look in the Bible, you'll see that it's missing. Um, and that's all government planned, and that's the Catholics and all that are all into that. The Pope, all the popes, um, the Vatican, they all in their vault. There's all hidden secrets that they don't want you to know. And we're talking about ancient artifacts. We're talking about the real deals here that are in that vault, hidden. And we're talking possibly the Ark of Covenant. And what they try to do is they play these little things where they don't have it. And, they always play this little mind game with everybody. And then when things start coming out, they have to eventually somehow find a way to come out and say, oh, wow, we didn't know. But if you really look back in history and, if you really pay attention, like some people are, these people don't put into stonework to make up stories. Their stories were told, to each other personally, but they ain't gonna make up a story and put it for future times. Okay, because everything's passed down verbally. Okay, stories and stuff like that, along with ancient, you know, ways that they've done things and that. And here, that's the thing. Okay, if they were then telling their people certain things like ancient secrets or ancient medicines that's been passed down, why would they make up stories that would be etched future wise? They wouldn't. story stuck with a tribe or, city and that for a certain reason. It's just a story. But they really didn't tell stories back then all like that. Okay. Maybe little stories, but that was told person to person. That wouldn't be etched for history, because each and every one of them knew eventually something could happen and it would lead somewhere, and they didn't want to etch a false story into something that is supposed to help the next civilization. As for Admiral Byrd, those stories are true. I mean, it was all in his journal. And family even confirmed, those things were reality. Okay. And that's the thing. Okay. When you have something that's proven fact, okay, then that's different. But like I said, these extraterrestrials are actually fallen angels, because even in the Bible it said when he threw them out of heaven, they went with the humans and gave them technology, and advanced these humanizations against God. And of course, it's going to go against God. And then teaching them how to kill and, fight, because God wanted peace. Understand? And it's all proven fact on certain levels. But as you know, uh, Antarctica is a ground central. Okay, it's just full of everything that they're keeping hidden from us. You got to think about it. Why is it no regular person? But you got celebrities that could go to certain parts, but scientists are constantly going there. And that's the thing, from every country, because they have a peace treaty there that only them and their scientists can be there. So you got to piece it together. Why? What is there that scientists are constantly daily going there? Because you have scientists that go to some places, archaeologists that go some places for a bit, but you really don't get that much attention from it, because it's old ancient things. But Antarctica constantly gets constantly attention from scientists, constantly, the government's constantly going there for certain reasons and restricting it. I mean, look how they act when people go there that aren't supposed to. They will meet you with armed ships. Airplanes somehow are there to take someone down. Helicopters. We're talking about Apache helicopters. We ain't talking about normal helicopters. We're talking about Apache and other updated helicopters that are full weaponized. So that's what I'm saying. You got to really pay attention to truths in that. And, why would these astronauts claim later on down the road that we never been to the moon, we never been down the outlet, because it was all a lie? And really, truthfully, I do believe that it was all a lie. I mean, you got to understand, the technology back then was nothing to what we have now, and that I mean, there's just so much that don't make sense back then that does now. Okay, because you were easily back then. You got to figure you were easier to manipulate. Sorry, easier to manipulate back then, because everybody believed the government. But now we're moved into 2026 now, and now our minds are not as easily manipulated. Some are, and I'm gonna get to those points too. But I'm kind of running out of time here. I like to try to keep my videos not as long and that, but it's kind of hard when you get into this. But basically, what mine are everything that's truth, what's false, what's bullcrap, and try to help you enlighten those that want to know the truth. And I have connections with certain people that some that study UFOs from afar, going to certain areas and watching them, and some I have friends that are in the government net. So, but let's cut this video. I'm gonna post another video if you want to catch up that keeps on going on. And if you like, please follow and please subscribe. So it helps me to keep going, and it helps me to know that you're interested in learning, and helps me also understand that you want the truth. Forget what the government tells you. Forget the lies. You want truth. So please get back to me. All right. Thanks.